the concept of the number of people that are on the dole, I know that Pauline's talked about this a lot. How the heck are 67,000 people on the dole after 10 years? I mean, James, this problem's been identified multiple times, but nobody ever seemingly wants to pick it up and deal with it. So how do you shake 67,000 people off the dole if they've been there for 10 years?
Well, you've got to take a tough approach. And the reality is we are not here to make a lifestyle out of being unemployed at every other hard worker's expense. If you're a pensioner, you've earned your right to have some time to yourself and not work and rely on those who do work in this country for a better life. But those grubs that just want to sit there and constantly have their hand out, shame on you, because you're not only doing it to yourself, but you're also raising part of your family to think that that's okay as well. So we're ending up with multi-generations of these people that think it's okay to live off the taxpayer.
Yeah.
We've got to pull this up because it just can't keep going on. We're going to end up broke as a country, and we need people to go back to work because at the end of the day, working's good for you as much as it is for the economy and for your own self-wealth as well.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, Nicolle, people watching us right now, for whatever reason, if there's a person who can't work, there's a whole series of other categorisations or payments that one can go on to. So the idea that somebody keeps sitting on unemployment benefits, which in my view are too low, but they should be higher the shorter that you're on them, as opposed to somebody who just is able to sit on close to minimum wage for 10 years in unemployment.
Yeah, it's pretty extraordinary to hear that length of time that people are spending on welfare. And I mean, I would imagine after a year or two, they've probably lost most of the skills they need to effectively operate in a workplace. And, you know, let's remember not to put the burden onto businesses by forcing them or trying to force them to take on people who actually have lost all of the skills. You know, It's related. I remember that Bill English and John Key had a really good program that supported single mums to get off of welfare in New Zealand, and they did it through a very careful program. And I just wonder if we need to look at something along those lines for really long-term unemployed, because they are going to need some skills to enable them to actually get back into the workforce and not put the burden onto employers. You're
pretty sure that wasn't anywhere in Laura Tingle's essay about what Australia could learn from New Zealand when it was all just about the Jacinta Ardern years. Now, quickly to both of you before we get to some bold predictions for the week ahead. I was reading a story today in Queensland about people who actually live in Fortitude Valley. Now, Fortitude Valley's kind of, always been where the rock and roll, the parties, the strippers, all the rest of it are. It's where the fun times are. Yet, locals are saying, oh, too much noise, I must complain. Now, I'm sick of this sort of sook. Like, if you deliberately live in the city, then there's a certain amount of noise that comes with it. If you live in the parts of it where there's a rock venue at the other end of the street, then, Nicolle, why are people complaining? I mean, the reason you live there is for the action of the area, yet they turn around and whinge because, at 11 o'clock someone might be playing the drums.
Precisely. You know, if the pub or the live music venue's been there, and usually they have been there for, 50, 100 plus years, do your research before you move into the area. And if that's not your sort of lifestyle, don't move in there. Don't try and shut down, again, hardworking Aussie businesses providing a wonderful service for the community and keeping our live music scene alive. We've got a very similar issue here in Adelaide at the moment with the Cranker, the Crown and Anchor Hotel, that developers are trying to build residential apartments above it, and there are protests going on at the moment to try and save it because we all know precisely what will happen. Those people who move in will try and shut them down.
Well, I literally remember
it's just not good enough.
One of my favourite pubs in the world. Went to it every single weekend for the best part of 20 years. Then it too got renovated. The people who moved into the apartments above the pub complained about the pub. Simple solution here. State government gets together with local government. You grandfather the existing properties for as long as they have been there, and therefore anyone who moves in loses the right to appeal about whatever has already been there before them. Bugger them. James, bold prediction for the week ahead.
Bold prediction is Labor will claim that they were the ones behind $8 million for a hospice facility here in Rockhampton that opens tomorrow. The truth is it was One Nation, and I've got to say thank you to Josh Frydenberg for seeing reason in funding this facility that opens tomorrow. 10 new beds, the most northern hospice in Queensland, and we say thank you to both the Coalition and to One Nation for that.
Good man. We'll make sure that if you're not there, we'll make sure that you get the credit, and I'm glad you got it tonight. All right, go for it, Nicolle.
Well, I'm in my best Liberal blue colours this evening, Paul, because I believe that Peter Dutton's budget in response will continue to be far more popular and successful than the government's budget itself.
I agree. All right, cutting no foreign buyers is a lot easier than, oh, look, if you fill out this form and that form, you might get, 50 cents back. Oh, but P.S. the Prime Minister gets not one, but 2 new planes. 2 new planes. Welcome to Albonomics. Thank you, guys. Appreciate it.